What's up, team? It is your biggest fan, The Real Casadero, and in this video I'm talking about the future of technology and how you can avoid the impending doom of what the media is telling us. Mass immigration is going to take all of our jobs. Artificial intelligence is going to take all of our jobs. This is true. All of these things are going to happen. Mass immigration and artificial intelligence will eventually take your job, but only if you let it. Let's talk more about that, team. Here we go. Alright, team, so it's your biggest fan, The Real Casadero, and in this session we're talking about how mass immigration and artificial intelligence is going to take everyone's jobs. This is going to happen. There's no avoiding it. It happens all the time. It's happened throughout history. Some new piece of technology comes along, disrupts everything. People are panicking and they're freaking out. And this is why people are panicking and freaking out. I don't know about all the times before, but we can look back through American history and European history and find some times where some things like this were happening and people were starting to freak out. And what happens is the public turns to the government and they demand that the government do something about it. And I don't even think it's the people turning to the government. I believe that as the mindset of the majority of the people begin to change, it begins to show in our television shows, in our movies, the music we write, and all of these different things. And that begins to affect the media. And then the media begins to regurgitate these things back to us. And we end up in this humongous worldwide echo chamber where we're listening to these things. And there's some people inside of this vortex of information and they see what they need to grab onto in order to take advantage of the situations. Business owners may grab onto one aspect of it. Politicians may grab onto another aspect of it. But typically it all boils down to either someone promising you something in order for you to give up something. There's two types. One side is like, hey, you give up these things and this is what you get in return. It's a very transparent deal. And on the other side is, hey, we'll give you this. And you ask, what do you have to give up? And there's no, well, you don't have to give up anything. Well, we as human beings, if you're here watching this video, you understand how people work. And what will happen is somebody will give, right? If they're nefarious, and you won't know until you're so deep in their trap. If there was ever a trap to be planted, but they'll give and give and give until you become dependent on them, and now you have to do their bidding in order to receive the thing you need. And this happens voluntarily and involuntarily all the time. It's just because of the way humans are and the way we're wired. Then we set up our education system to perpetuate this, and that's just the way it goes. Take somebody who goes to school. You go to school for seven or 8 years, and then you go off into high school, which is another 4 years of school. You go off into high school, and then you get to the end of high school and society's telling you you need a college education to go out into the world and be successful. Now, nobody ever really asks you to define what success is. They just say go be successful, and you're left to take in from the world, from your home environment, from the television, the radio, all these different places, what success looks like. So you're looking for what seems to be the happiest people. And if you're seeing commercials and television shows and all these things, or maybe even your home life was like that, you're aiming to be happy like those people. So you're aiming for those objects that they have in the physical world. As you aim for those things, you realize that there's things that you have to do in order to get those things on your journey. And we tell each other all of these things along the way. We say, hey, if you want the house and the 2 cars and the kids and the dog and the white picket fence, then you go to school, you go to high school, go to college, go off and you get a job somewhere, and then you buy these things and you have them, and now you're successful. We all know that that's not necessarily the case. There's tons of people out here who are in college debt who can't find work because the degrees that they have, there's no jobs for them. When they do find work, isn't doing something that they didn't need a degree in order to do in the first place. It's already happening. This is already happening. And some politicians are saying, hey, we can educate ourselves out of this. What we'll do is we'll give everybody free education. Then everybody goes to college and it'll be completely free. Let's forget about all the people who are struggling right now to pay for their college loans and all the people who came before them. We're just going to focus on these people and we'll say that they don't have to pay for anything. So that's one side, someone promising you something. I'm going to absolve you of all this college debt. And I'm not going to ask you for anything but to be a good citizen. There's somewhere at some point, there's probably going to be some strings attached. But anyway, team, we don't want to dwell on that because we aren't those kinds of people. We are solution-oriented people. We're smart and we're critical thinkers. You're here because you're interested in deeper levels of thought, in software development, in coding, in all of these things. And to me, all of these things are one and the same. It's the direction we're going. We are fortunate enough to be out at the front of the ship and able to see across the ocean and see where things are going. And we know that things are going about the way that they have always gone. Nothing has changed. So this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. More and more people are going to come. There's going to be, number one, more and more people are going to be born. We know that, right? People are going to be born, and people are going to immigrate, and people are going to move to other places. People are just going to be moving all around, and it's going to become easier and easier and easier unless we do something stupid, like get rid of airplanes or something. Then we have to come up with a different way to get around. But if we do get rid of airplanes, right, this video is for the people who think in terms of solutions. All right, these guys want to get rid of all the airplanes. I'll come up with a better way. And then you set off to do that thing. Getting back down to what we can control right now from our kitchen table, aside from trying to replace all the airplanes in the world, is if we can understand that every business is built exactly the same way. There is a person with an idea and they set off to build that idea and they need some help from somebody else. They go off, they get some help, and then they need help from another person. More customers come and they need more help. They get more help and more customers come. And now you want to create a bigger, better product than you had before. So you get help to help you do that. You make a bigger product. As time goes on, you're getting more customers, more people know your name, you're hiring more people, and now you grow into a huge business and you're like a Microsoft, or you're like a GE, or you're like a Ford or a Toyota or whoever. You're employing all these people. People show up to the party, they get comfortable, they see the pattern, and it becomes their thing. They become dependent on you supplying them with income the same way you as a business owner would become depending on them, would come to depend on them to supply your labor. Well, what's going on right now is through the growth of population and the growth of education expense, you're getting more and more people who are not willing to work for less and less money because they have college debts and they want to go buy houses, they want to go buy cars, and they want to buy fancy clothes, and they want to go on vacation. They want to do all these different things that require a lot of money. A lot of them, they aren't willing to settle for less. So they want to charge top dollar for their time. They are very competitive people. They compete very hard, and there's only so many seats at the top. There's only so many people who can run so many companies, unless somebody goes out and starts more companies. But if everybody is trying to work at the companies that already exist, nobody's making new companies. And the companies that already exist, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until they control as much as they possibly can, or they fail. The only way to keep companies from becoming these super mega giants is to continue to make them have to innovate. And we, as regular people, we can do that now. All of us can start from our kitchen table to set ourselves up for a future where robots do everything. Can you imagine a more glorious place than a place where you can just be and exist and not have to do anything manual or repetitive or whatever? You could just get a computer to do it for you. And when you wanted to do physical things or manual things or whatever, you could go out and you could do those things. There's still going to be people building houses. There's still going to be people fixing cars for the foreseeable future. There's still going to be manual jobs. And even more so, there's still going to be a lot of room for creative things. People are still going to want to buy houses and fill those houses with nice furniture and pictures and artwork and all kinds of things. We can make those things. And at some point, we're going to start to use computers to help us make those things, to help us make the art that we hang on the walls, to help us make the furniture and the shelves and the books and all these knickknacks that I have here. These are all the types of things that people will buy, and these are all types of things that any one of us can make money selling on the internet, or any one of us can figure out how to make any one of these things. Maybe somebody likes to work with metal and you know how to make these really cool signs out of metal. You can make your really cool signs out of metal, go online, build yourself a website, show it to all of your friends on social media, put it on all of your social media profiles, record a couple videos, put them them on YouTube, create an Instagram account. Every time you make something new, you take a picture. You take pictures from different angles. You'll post them on different days. You hashtag the stuff you're making, what it's made out of, why you made it, who you made it for, what's the meaning behind it, why did you use the colors you used. You go out onto Instagram, you search in your local area, find people who were posted recently or posted just a little while ago or whatever. Look for profiles of people that might be interested in the type of thing you have. You say, hey, I think this is really cool. I built this thing. You should check this out. Hey, I think that your post is super awesome, blah, 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 blah. And you just do this over and over and over again. And over time, people will come and they will begin to buy the signs that you make out of metal. And it won't be big in the beginning, but if you do this on the side, over time, you can grow it to be as big or as small as you want. You can grow it to just enough to replace your regular income, or you can grow it into this huge $1 million business. And all these things come with their own set of problems. They come with their own level of work. They come with their own level of outside forces that you have to deal with. Like if you can build 100 of these signs a month and you can make enough money to spend time with your family and buy the things you want and live the way you want to live and do the things you want to do and have the life you want to have and be the person you want to be, then that's all the number of signs you need to make. If you want to make 100,000 signs a month, then you have to figure out how to make 100,000 signs a month. And that comes with a whole lot of other overhead. You got to figure out where to get the steel. Are you going to build all these things? You're going to hire people to build them. You're going to build a robot that builds them. What are you going to do? And so that's where technology fits into the future, is giving each one of us the ability to pursue whatever we feel is our creative outlet. Now, this doesn't mean, hey, you should drop everything and just go follow your dreams. This means that think about the future. If you really like to sing and singing something you always wanted to do, think about why you wanted to sing and who you wanted to sing for, and then get out your camera and start singing and put it on YouTube and put it on Facebook and put it on Instagram and put it everywhere that you think people would like to hear you sing. Tell people that you sing. Make an MP3 and put it on iTunes. Make a podcast where you're just singing your different tracks. If you make beats, you can do the same thing with beats. If you draw comic books, you can do the same thing with comic books. If you weave baskets, it doesn't matter what you do. Anything that you know how to do, you can create some sort of content around it and put it out on the internet. You don't even have to record yourself. You can type this stuff out in a blog. You can type it out and have somebody else read it. You can go on to Upwork and Fiverr and hire people to put together infographics. You could write a whole story, a short story, or write about your product, or write about your service, or write about whatever. Go on Upwork or Fiverr, hire a voiceover artist for maybe $100, right? It depends. You can hire somebody for $5. You can hire for somebody for as much as $10,000. However much money you have, you spend that. Have somebody for $5 to read the voiceover. Then you go and hire somebody else for $5 to put together an infographic using the voiceover, and then boom, you have a whole commercial. You take this commercial, you share it all over the internet, and bam, you have an advertisement for your product. This is stuff that we all can do today. Me making this video is just another advertisement. People see it on YouTube, they go, oh, this makes sense, this guy makes sense. Let me go check out Code 365 Startup Lab so I can learn the code like him. Let me go to Write Code Drink Coffee so I can get a hat like the hat he's wearing. This is the future, and this is what we all can do. And nobody talks about what technology makes possible. They talk about what technology is going to destroy. And this is why there's only a small percentage of people at the top, because there's a small percentage of people who understand positive energy and they're able to use negative energy in order to create the things that they want to have. That's the way it goes. That is the yin and the yang of the universe. You may look at some political party and go, oh, these guys are super evil. There are people in the party, there's people at the top of the party who are very good people, and they're trying to get to a place and they understand exactly what the hell is going on. And they're using that craziness that we all see in order to achieve their agenda. And they are fighting against other people who have a completely different agenda, who are trying to do their thing, and somehow they will keep winning. But you gotta get in that mindset where you can get up to the top. It's not about what artificial intelligence or computers or technology or whatever is gonna destroy that we have now. It is about how we can use these things to our advantage. 10 years ago, to be able to sit down and record a video and put it on the internet and have hundreds of people watch it was mind-boggling. And now you have people who do this on a regular basis, and they make 2 to 3 to 10, they make multiples of what a middle income family made 10 years ago. It's just one person doing the work of 10 people. It's the same amount of work that it would have taken 10 people 10 years ago. One person can do it now, and they can make 10 times more than what a middle class family made 10 years ago. If they just let that sink in, and it's only gonna grow into the future. The deal is, you have to begin to stake your claim. You have to begin to build your own stuff. You have to begin to think in terms of processes, because before, when a business owner wanted to grow, he had to go out and he had to find people to help him grow. That's where paychecks come from. He's just paying people to help him grow his business or her business or their business or whoever's business. People paying other people to help them grow this thing that helps them make more money, which in turn helps them hire more people to help them grow this thing even bigger. As technology comes along, these big companies are competing with one another. They're competing on prices. None of us want to pay a bunch of money for stuff, so they have to make it for less money. So they have to employ less people, but they have to still produce the same amount of products. They have to automate this. They have to get robots to do it. They have to use artificial intelligence. Then they have to go out and advertise and market. And it's a huge market, hundreds of millions of people. So you have companies like Google and Facebook. And what they do is they aggregate all this attention from all these different people all around the world, and they give these businesses a way to advertise. What I'm saying is we can use these same mechanisms that the very big businesses use to sell stuff in our local area, or people who are interested in the things that we're interested in. We can sell our products and services to those people and create competition amongst ourselves. So instead of us competing to go help somebody else build their dream, we can compete with one another in building our own dream, and thus keep these humongous companies from getting any bigger and eventually shrinking back down to size, where now we as the people, we have all the control again. This is where artificial intelligence can take us, but only if enough people wake up. More than likely, a lot of people won't, but some people will. And those people that do, those people will be fine. They will not have to worry, because they will be powering the systems that everybody else is using in order to figure out what's going on. When you have a certain kind of mindset, when people start losing jobs as truckers, maybe there is something that truckers are able to do that nobody else is able to do. And now you figure out where that skill can be applied in the marketplace, and you create a company truckers sign up to, employers sign up to. You pair truckers with employers, and now you're helping two sides. You're helping employers find people that they need to do a certain kind of work, and you're helping the trucker who was previously unemployed find new employment. You get to reap the benefits because you're in the middle. Now you can decide, which one do you want to be? Always been the same all throughout time. Nothing has changed. Do you want to be the employer, the middleman, or do you want to be the trucker? Do you want to be the person digging for gold? Do you want to be the person with the picks and shovels? Or do you want to be the person on the side of the road going, man, I could dig for gold if only someone would just come give me a pick and a shovel. All right, team, that is it. Your biggest fan, The Real Casadero. Share, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Hope that jazzed you up. Hope that pumps you up. And stay tuned. The very next video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a website from top to bottom to top, and everything in between. The ultimate course on web development. Ultimate course on web development, and not web development to just go out and get a job. You can use all these skills to go out and get a job, but web development to think in a way where you can create your own stuff and you can monetize it. All right, team, that is it.